All right, you guys, welcome into Tuesday. I hope y'all are doing great. Major announcement later today. I'm going to be talking about my new Astrology Foundations course that is going to be released. So if you're watching this video, you kind of know that already. So anyway, I'll be talking more about that. You can find it on the website. There'll be links in the description boxes, the whole 9 yards. So I hope everybody's doing great. I want to say to you that I've been getting quite a lot of messages around unity, and I'll just read you the one that came up through my morning reading for myself on Monday. Or is it Sunday? I think it was Sunday. There's more coming in. This is not a binary choice. Sit in the ambiguity of things right now and see how this unfolds. New information coming, inspiration arriving. I do a lot of journaling in my own life, and I'm going to talk with you more about that as the year continues to unfold. And I really want to help folks understand how the energy of the day, connecting the astrology to what's happening with you and working through journaling, that's going to be all part of that astrology course. And I will certainly flow that into Pathfinders as well. This week in Pathfinders, we're going to be talking about unity consciousness and what does that mean? Last week, we talked about generational curses and how to work with them. This week, we're talking about unity consciousness. So that is about your masculine and feminine being unified inside you. We've been talking about that for a long time. The twin flame reading I did yesterday had a lot to do with that. So if you missed it, we'll put a link below. What's underneath is fire. All right, we have Saturn and Neptune retrograding in the sign of Aries. We have Mercury stationing direct, and it's slowly trying to move. It's really not moving very much forward in Leo, 4 degrees of Leo right now. I see the death card, so I'm going to take that home. I see that too. So there's something changing in terms of the familiar. There's something changing in terms of the familiar. We're getting inspired to go towards something that we're becoming, something different. Veiled, that showed up yesterday too. The soulmate card and the trust card. Ooh, come on back here. So this is really Spirit saying, listen, there's some things going on right now that are being revealed to you. All will be revealed in the fullness of time, which is something that used to frustrate me no end. But that's what it feels like, that Spirit is saying, but you have to pay attention. The subtleties of the things, like we're living in a world right now that ain't so subtle, right? Do you agree? But in terms of the spiritual path, things are more subtle, and that requires a higher level of, not hierarchical, a higher level of awareness and understanding in our own mission and purpose in life. I feel like some things are going to be changing. So like Spirit is saying, hey, heads up. Okay, heads up. Things are going to be shifting and changing. If you ever want to learn to read tarot from me, you can. There's a link below if you want to jump onto that. All right, 7 of Wands underneath. Look at this. The Ace of Wands. I love the Ace of Wands showing up in a reading right now. It does have to do with that fire, that passion, that inspiration. 7 of Pentacles, the Judgment card, and the Page of Pentacles. So this inspiration, once being pushed back on, 7s are spiritual. All right, so we have a couple of 7s here. So some kind of spiritual inspiration had been pushed back on. You might have been saying, oh, well, this can't be it. It seems too woo-woo to me, or something like that, which probably you guys watching this reading are probably not saying that, but you might have. I mean, I've said that to myself at times, and no, this can't be it. Like, that seems a little bit out there. And then I'm just like, okay, just need to trust. You need to trust. Page of Pentacles coming in saying, all right, there's some things you need to learn, not just like heads up and trust, but some things you need to do and to learn. So we're going to dive into that a little bit more. 2 of Pentacles, 5 of Wands, Tower. That's very interesting. This showed up in the twin flame reading kind of like this. Like, there's certain people who are paying attention, but kind of going back and forth between two worlds. And there's one world that's very full of conflict right now. Some are, the focus on the spiritual path is about choosing love, not fear, but you're in the 3D life. And sometimes that can be a little challenging. It's okay. All right. It happens to the best of us. But now this is kind of like going toward, the going back and forth between the 3D and the 5D. But now there's conflict, real conflict right in front of you, like that can't be avoided. Something about conflict that can't be avoided. We'll go into that too. There's something. So number one, what is there to learn? What do we need to learn? I can't help myself here. I'm not going to pull the whole reading. I'm just going to ask about what is it that we need to learn right now? Knight of Pentacles. Love it. Virgo energy. Empress. Venus conjunct Jupiter. That beautiful energy in Cancer. That beautiful energy of why it matters to have empathy. Queen of Cups, why it matters, self-nurturance, self-worth. 10 of Wands, putting away that burden. That's what we need to learn right now. That's what the Divine Feminine is definitely focused on right now. Embracing the putting in the work on that, recognizing that there is something to be released around doubting yourself. Ace of Pentacles, love it. Ace of Pentacles. 6 of Wands, 9 of Wands, going to run up against a wall of victimhood. So this feminine energy can be running up against a wall of toxic masculinity. There can be that. We've been, doing that for a while. But it's something like the Tower exposes a lot of victim-y kind of behavior. It's sort of like, all right, I definitely am getting the image in Ghostbusters when all of the, the thing fails. I forget what the name of it is, right? Like the thing that's holding in all the ghosts and spirits, that they put them in that chamber, and it's like the field has failed. And so they're all over the streets of New York, right? They're everywhere. So there's something like that. I mean, honestly, like it kind of looks like that the force field that has held them, there's too much in there. There's too much being held back. Wow, you never know how Ghostbusters is really going to make an appearance in your daily life, do you? The original. Knight of Pentacles, Queen of Wands. There's the Knight of Pentacles again. And the 10 of Wands. So 9 to the 10, got the 10 of Wands again. So there's something here about getting creative, about seeing like the transparency of seeing the things that have been done. That force field is going to fail, of where people have kept things inside or behind closed doors, or in, the family stories, don't tell tales out of school, like all that kind of stuff, like the force field fails. And so all of that stuff is now visible. It's transparency. You know why? Because the force field was around our own intuition and our spiritual gifts, trying to hold you back from doing that. It's like, boom, like everybody has these gifts now. It just like opens up. And I do feel like there's a fighting this. The dark energies are fighting this, because the only way to keep things in this hierarchical structure is to not have transparency, to not let people see what goes on behind closed doors. That's the only way to have control, domination, the profane masculine. Control, domination, hoarding of money, authoritarian experiences, completely trying to coercively control people. Okay, the only way that can stay in power is if there's no transparency. The Virgo new moon. Am I the only one talking about the Virgo new moon right now? I know we got a lot going on. I get it. Like astrology moves as it moves, right? And people, a lot of the astrologers on YouTube, lots of really amazing people are talking about the things that are happening right now. But I just want to put a pin in it. August 22nd. It's only next week. I know we have the Grand Trine, we have the kite, we have all these things going on, which I talked about last week and the week before. Now I'm saying to you that the new, because Virgo is showing up here a bunch of times. What is Virgo? Virgo is about putting in the effort. It's about the repeated effort. And I feel like some of you are being gifted with the time or energy or the aha moment, the awareness of like, hey, really got to practice your gifts, really got to put a practice together more than you have before. And I feel like that's Neptune and Saturn backing up into Pisces, saying this is now the time that your gifts are going to be needed, because there's going to be a lot of people who have all these kind of gifts now and they have no idea what to do with them. So there's going to need to be some kind of leadership around that, but not in a hierarchical kind of way, more in like an empathic kind of way, which I feel like is the masculine energy is going to become suddenly more empathic. Like that has been locked away inside of them because of all the things that happened to them growing up, or the victimization or whatever. Like no empathy. Empathy was seen as a weakness. Like that's going away. And it's like letting all those ghosts out of the chamber. Here's the divine feminine here, the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Cups together with Empress energy. There's something here about I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not going to carry the burden of the only one who empathizes. I'm not going to carry the burden for the entire society. I'm not doing that. Like, this is why others will need to come online and pull their weight and everything like that. The divine feminine is saying, I am not going to be the only one. We are not going to be the ones who are holding the pain and suffering for the entire species. Okay. So the 10 of Wands, 4 of Wands, the Strength card. I love it. I love it. 4 of Cups and the 9 of Pentacles. Right. There's this really freaking stubborn energy here from a place of power, not from a place of subservience or coercive control. Like the feminine says no. And it's a full sentence. Feminine says no. Nope, not doing it. I'm good. I feel like if you go back and watch that twin flame reading from yesterday, one of the things that came through I don't know how this practically works in the world, but there's something, the masculine structures primarily, and this is no disrespect to any masculines who are really doing the work and really, there's so many really awesome videos about, especially millennial men who are fathers, new fathers and stuff like that. Like there's so many that are doing the work, shadow work, and there's so many of you on here who are really working with your own masculine energy, or masculines here. Hey, I see you. Okay. Like that is amazing and awesome. And there's something about like that has been very courageous to do, to stand in this hierarchical, very, very coercively controlling environment and still stand in your empathy and be able to, the feminine has had different skills or different requirements to really step into her power. And I feel like that this is one of them. So like the masculines who are very empathetic and have opened up to their gifts and have done all this and have kind of aligned themselves, their feminine energy is really online and doing well. There's something here about masculine structures that only support these toxic kinds of dynamics. I'm really getting that. It's almost like the feminine is standing there watching the toxic masculine or the Yeah, let me ask about the tower. Talk to me more about this tower, please. All right, you came out. You know, I don't want to brag or anything, but I'm the only one talking about the new moon in Virgo and the new moon in Virgo in September. New moon in Virgo in August, new moon in Virgo in September. The one in September is an eclipse. We'll talk more. And there's definitely something here about getting ready with a plan for August 22nd, when the new moon in Virgo happens first at 0 degrees, which is pure Virgo energy, which is, all right, what's your plan? What's the steps? How are you going to implement that day to day? Super practical. And then the 29th degree in September is an eclipse. An eclipse new moon is really a heightened energy. It's really very, very powerful to be manifesting and purging that karma. 29 degrees is about purging karma. And Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus. We are not done with Taurus yet, because Uranus is going to retrograde back into Taurus. I'm going to give you the dates. Let's talk about this right now, shall we? Because I feel like there's so much going on. You're forgiven, astrologers, if you're not really talking about this right now. But Uranus is going to go retrograde on the 5th of September, right around the freaking corner at 1 degree of Gemini. It's going to go back into Taurus, and we'll go direct on February 3rd, 2026. So when I will get you for you in the extended, I will give you the date when it hits actually Taurus. That is going to be really important, because Uranus hitting the 29 degree of Taurus, it's the final time, the final of our lifetime, the final time when Uranus, surprise, is going to be dealing with financial markets. Okay? That's a super important day and date. When it starts to go retrograde, there can be some information that is withheld about the upheaval in markets, something about masculine energy feeling the brunt of this. And that, we all have masculine energy in us too. It's not just all the women standing by going, oh, ha, ha, ha. Like, it's not that. It's really about if the energy of the profane masculine, coercive control, hoarding of money, all of these things, that domineering, tyrannical, authoritarian, those things tied up with the financial markets, those are the things that are going to get purged. I don't know what that looks like. But that new moon, if you get a plan to move forward in your life, this Ace of Pentacles is being offered to you that says, hey, no more victims here. We're embodying this divine feminine energy of strength. No more victims. No more victim mentality, no more nothing. I'm not calling you out. I'm not at all. I'm just saying that's not a thing. It's just not going to be a thing anymore, because there will be empowerment. Wow. So the moon, the Fool, 9 of Swords, Archangel Michael making an appearance here in this reading. So I'm gonna look more at that Uranian retrograde. I'll give you the date when we get right into the extended. I'm gonna talk about how things are gonna unfold. Let's see where we're going with this. All right. Okay. Link is below if you want to continue on with me. This is your reading, Pathfinders. Let's just keep going. All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.